If you are an IGNOU MASS student, there is one number you have to get right before you write a single page of your project. MSDP-018 is not a 4-credit project. On IGNOU's own MASS program website, it is clearly listed as 8 credits. That single fact changes how much work the examiner expects, how deep your fieldwork has to be, and how seriously you should treat this course. And it is only the first of several things that most websites get wrong about the IGNOU MASS project. So here is the complete official answer in one place. MSDP-018 is the compulsory 8-credit project of the IGNOU Master of Arts in Sustainability Science, offered by the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies. It carries 100 marks, evaluated through a 6-part scheme, and it is the only course in the whole program with no term-end exam. Your report and your Viva are the exam. This guidance comes from B.K. Sahni, founder of Shri Chakradhar Education and IGNOUproject.com, who has guided IGNOU students since 2010. Everything in this video is built from IGNOU's official MASS program pages and the MSDP-018 project handbook, not from guesswork. In the next 25 minutes, you will get the full picture: what MASS actually is and where the project sits, the exact 100-mark breakdown, who can supervise you, how to choose a topic that survives approval, the IGNOU MASS synopsis, the report structure, and the 2 different addresses your documents have to go to. Let us start with the program itself, because the project only makes sense in that context. MASS stands for Master of Arts in Sustainability Science. It is a 2-year postgraduate degree run by the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies at IGNOU in open and distance learning mode. IGNOU was the first university in India to introduce sustainability science as a full academic discipline, in line with the National Education Policy 2020. Here are the program facts at a glance. 72 credits in total, 16 courses of which 15 are theory and 1 is the project. Minimum 2 years, maximum 4 years. Eligibility is a bachelor's degree in any discipline. Medium of instruction is English. 1 credit at IGNOU equals about 30 hours of study. So 8 credits for MSDP-018 means the university expects roughly 240 hours of work on this project alone. That is not a weekend assignment. Plan for months, not days. Now look at where the project actually sits in the course structure. Your first year is the Sustainability Science Foundation, MSD-011, Sustainability Science, MSD-012, Ecosystem and Natural Resources, MSD-013, Sociocultural System, MSD-014, Ecological Economics, MSD-015, Institutions, Governance and Policies. The first year also includes MSD-016, Strategies and Models for Sustainability, MSD-017, Challenges to Sustainable Development, MSD-019, Global Strategies to Sustainable Development, and MSD-020, Population Health and Sustainability. The second year moves into applied and specialized areas, MEV-025, Climate Change and Society, MEDS-051, Fundamentals of Corporate Social Responsibility, MSD-021, Mountain and Hill Ecosystem, MSD-022, Aquatic Ecosystem. It continues with MSD-023, Social Ecology, Globalization and Sustainability, MEDS-044, Monitoring and Evaluation of Projects and Programs, MEVE-016, Urban Environment. And then, sitting at the end of the second year, MSDP-018, the project. Notice something useful there. MEDS-044 teaches monitoring and evaluation of projects and programs. That course is effectively your methodology training for MSDP-018. Students who read it properly write far stronger project chapters. Now, a point that confuses many learners. MSDP-018 is shared between two IGNOU programs. It appears in the Master of Arts in Sustainability Science and also in the Postgraduate Diploma in Sustainability Science, the PGDSS. That shared listing is exactly why the wrong credit figure spreads online. Several websites still describe MSDP-018 as a 4-credit project. On IGNOU's own MASS program site, the project work MSDP-018 is stated as 8 credits, placed in the second year. Follow the official page for your own program, and if there is any doubt, email the MASS program coordinator before you start. So, first practical rule: confirm your credit weight, your year of study, and your submission session from IGNOU's official MASS pages, not from a coaching website. Now the section that matters most for your marks. How exactly is the IGNOU MASS project evaluated? Most IGNOU projects use a simple split, something like 70% report and 30% Viva. MSDP-018 does not work that way. It uses a 6-part itemized marking scheme, and once you see it, you will write your report completely differently. Here is the official scheme, out of 100 marks. Introduction, including objectives and rationale, 10 marks. Review of the literature, 10 marks. Methodology, 10 marks. Results and discussion, 30 marks. Conclusions, 10 marks. And Viva Voce, 25 marks. Read that again, because it is the single most useful thing in this video. Results and discussion alone is worth 30 marks. That is more than your introduction, your literature review, and your methodology put together. So the biggest mistake MASS students make is obvious once you see the numbers. They spend 80% of their effort on background reading and theory, and then rush the analysis chapter at the end. That is throwing away the highest scoring section of the whole project. The second thing to notice is the Viva. 25 marks out of 100 come from the Viva Voce. A quarter of your project grade is decided by how well you can explain your own work out loud. Prepare for it deliberately, not the night before. Turn that scheme into a writing plan. Give your results and discussion chapter the most pages, the most tables, the most graphs, and the most interpretation. Keep your introduction tight and purposeful. Make your literature review focused rather than encyclopedic. Make your methodology precise enough that someone could repeat your study. And note what the scheme rewards in the conclusion section. 10 marks are reserved for conclusions, which means the examiner is looking for clear, evidence-based statements that answer your objectives one by one. A vague, general ending loses easy marks. One more caution. The exact pass requirement and any minimum in the Viva component should be confirmed from your current MSDP-018 project handbook and the MASS program guide, because IGNOU can revise evaluation details between sessions. Next, your supervisor. No supervisor, no approved project. So this matters. IGNOU's official MSDP-018 guidelines list who is eligible to supervise you. Faculty at IGNOU headquarters. Academic counselors of the Postgraduate Diploma in Sustainability Science with relevant experience, and teachers or researchers working in the area of sustainable development. On qualifications, the criteria are broader than most students assume. A doctorate in environmental science or environmental studies or economics or sociology or anthropology or any related discipline qualifies a person to supervise you. Alternatively, a master's degree or an MPhil in environmental science or studies, economics, sociology, anthropology, or a related discipline combined with at least 2 years of research or teaching experience also qualifies. Here is the myth bust. Your supervisor does not need a degree in sustainability science itself. Several websites claim you need an MPhil or PhD specifically in sustainability science. And that is not what IGNOU's MASS criteria say, because sustainability science is interdisciplinary. IGNOU deliberately allows supervisors from environmental science, economics, sociology, anthropology, and related fields. There is a second correction worth making. Some pages say your supervisor's biodata is approved by the School of Education. For MASS, it is not. Your program sits with the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, and IGNOU's own guidelines state that if a proposed supervisor is not acceptable to that school, you will be told, and you must change the supervisor and resubmit the proposal. So treat supervisor selection as a gate, not a formality. An unsuitable supervisor sends your whole proposal back to the start and costs you a full session. IGNOU also spells out what your supervisor is supposed to do for you. Help you narrow a very focused topic, point you towards books, newspapers, magazines, and experts so you can find a genuine interest area, tell you where the empirical data for your project can realistically be collected, guide you to the related literature. The list continues, and 2 items are especially valuable. Your supervisor should keep you motivated and available through the work, and your supervisor should encourage you to work originally, never to copy or reproduce, and to proceed systematically. The last responsibility is the one students forget to ask for. Your supervisor can give you a letter of authorization that helps you collect data in the field. That letter can also be issued by your study center or regional center. If you plan to survey households, a village panchayat, a school or an office, ask for it early. It opens doors. And remember the universal IGNOU rule that applies here too. You never pay your project supervisor. Supervision is an academic arrangement with the university, not a private service. Now the part everyone searches for. How do you choose an IGNOU MASS project topic that will actually be approved? IGNOU's MSDP-018. 8 guidance gives you a practical checklist for selecting a topic, and it is refreshingly honest about real-world constraints. Run every idea through it before you commit. The checklist covers the suitability of the topic, the relevance of the topic to sustainable development and to issues of sustainability, the time available at your disposal, the feasibility of data collection within the given time limit. It also asks you to think about the challenges involved in data collection and how you will meet them, the cost involved in data collection, and communication facilities and local language at your study site. That last point is genuinely important in field-based sustainability research. Notice what that checklist implies. An impressive-sounding topic is not a strong topic. A strong MASS topic is narrow, locally researchable, clearly tied to sustainability, and finishable with the time and money you actually have. Let me make this concrete with one worked example that we will carry through the rest of the video. Take this title, A Study of Rooftop Solar Adoption Among Urban Households and the Barriers to a Sustainable Energy Transition. Look at why it works. It names a specific behavior, rooftop solar adoption. It names a specific population, urban households. And it names the sustainability angle, the energy transition. Now compare it to a weak version, a study on renewable energy in India. No location, no population, no measurable variable, and no way to collect data in one session. That is the kind of title that comes back for revision. Here are further sustainability themes that fit MSDP-018 well. Household solid waste segregation behavior in a selected ward, groundwater depletion and farmer coping strategies in a selected block, corporate social responsibility spending and local environmental outcomes, urban heat and vulnerability in low-income settlements, and a few more. Community participation in a wetland or lake restoration program, sustainable livelihood practices in a hill or coastal community, single-use plastic reduction and consumer awareness in a selected market, and an evaluation of a government sustainable development scheme in one district. Treat these as directions, then narrow them to your own location with your supervisor. Now the IGNOU MASS Synopsis, which IGNOU calls the project proposal. IGNOU's MSDP-018 guidance states clearly what the project proposal should contain: the title, the introduction, the objectives, the problem statement. It continues with the research methodology, and this is where the guidance gets specific. Your methodology must state the locale of the study, the sampling method, the instruments you will use, and the statistical tools you plan to apply. Then the limitations, if any, and finally the references. So a compliant IGNOU MASS synopsis has 8 named components: title, introduction, objectives, problem statement, methodology with locale, sampling, instruments and statistical tools, limitations and references. Miss any of them and you are inviting a revision. Apply that to our example. Locale might be 3 residential wards of a named city. Sampling might be 150 households selected through stratified random sampling. Instruments might be a structured questionnaire plus semi-structured interviews with 2 solar installers. Statistical tools might be percentages, cross-tabulation, and chi-square. That level of specificity is what gets a proposal approved quickly. Along with the synopsis, IGNOU expects a small set of supporting papers, a completed and signed proposal approval proforma, signed by both you and your supervisor, the detailed biodata of your supervisor, duly signed by them, a letter of consent from the supervisor, and the synopsis itself. Now the routing detail that most websites get wrong: where does the MASS project proposal go? According to IGNOU's official MSDP-018 page, the project proposal is submitted to the coordinator, MASS, School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, Swami Vivekanand Bhawan, IGNOU Maidan Garhi, New Delhi, 110068. That is the school at headquarters, not your study center. Plenty of pages tell MASS students to drop the proposal at the study center with the course code written on the envelope. For MSDP-018, the official address is the MASS coordinator at SOITS. Always keep a photocopy of everything you send, and use a trackable dispatch. Keep one more copy for yourself in soft form as well. If your proposal is queried, you will need to show exactly what you submitted and when. Once your proposal is approved, you build the report, and IGNOU gives you the structure for free, hidden in plain sight in the marking scheme. Chapter 1 is your introduction, carrying the objectives and the rationale. Explain the sustainability problem, why it matters in your chosen location, and state your objectives as clear numbered statements. 10 marks. Chapter 2 is the review of the literature. Summarize what earlier studies, reports, and policy documents have found, and end with the research gap your study fills. Focused is better than long. 10 marks. Chapter 3 is the methodology. Restate your locale, your sample and sampling method, your instruments, your data collection procedure, and your statistical tools. Anyone reading it should be able to repeat your study. 10 marks. Chapter 4 is results and discussion, and this is your 30-mark chapter. Present your findings in clear tables and figures, then interpret them. Do not simply describe numbers. Connect each finding back to an objective and to sustainability theory, policy, or the Sustainable Development Goals. Chapter 5 is conclusions. Answer every objective directly. State your limitations honestly and give practical recommendations that follow from your own data. 10 marks. Then close with references and appendices, including your questionnaire. On length, be careful with what you read online. Official MASS guidance indicates that the length of the project report depends on the theme of the project chosen, rather than fixing one universal page count. A well-argued, data-rich report is what earns marks, not padding. Confirm any page or word requirement with your supervisor and your current handbook. IGNOU provides 3 official formats for MSDP-018 on the MASS program website: the project proposal format, the certificate of originality, and the final project report format. Download all 3 and use them. Do not invent your own layout. That certificate of originality deserves special attention. It is a signed declaration that the work is yours. Copied projects are rejected outright, and a false declaration is an academic integrity issue, not a formatting slip. Cite every source properly and keep your similarity genuinely low. Now the second address, and this is the one that catches people out. Your proposal went to the MASS coordinator at SOITS. Your completed project report goes somewhere different. IGNOU's official MSDP-018 page states that the project report is submitted to the Registrar, Students Evaluation Division, IGNOU, Maidan Garhi, New Delhi, 110068. 2 documents, 2 destinations. Proposal to the school. Report to the Students Evaluation Division. Sending the report to the school or the proposal to the Evaluation Division is one of the most common and most avoidable delays in this program. IGNOU also operates an online project submission route for several programs, and submission windows are tied to the term end examination sessions. Before you dispatch anything, check the current submission mode and the last date for your session on the official IGNOU website. These dates change every session. Then comes the Viva Voce, worth 25 marks. Expect questions on why you chose the topic, how you selected your sample, why you used those statistical tools, what your main finding was, and what you would do differently. Know your own tables. Nothing damages a Viva faster than a student who cannot explain their own data. Let me list the 6 mistakes that cost MASS students the most marks. A topic too broad to research in one session. A thin results chapter, when results carry 30 marks. A methodology that never names the locale, sample, or statistical tools. The remaining 3. Copying content which triggers rejection under the certificate of originality, sending documents to the wrong address, and starting so late that the fieldwork gets compressed into a few rush days. Every one of these is avoidable with a plan. Now the honest question: is the IGNOU MASS degree and this project actually worth it? Yes, and here is the straight reasoning. MASS is a recognized postgraduate degree from IGNOU, a Central University accredited A++ by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. An IGNOU degree earned through open and distance learning is treated on par with a conventional degree for employment and for further study. Sustainability science is also one of the few fields where demand is clearly growing rather than shrinking. Climate policy, corporate sustainability reporting, environmental compliance and development programs all need people who can read data and evaluate outcomes. MSDP-018 is what turns your degree from theory on paper into evidence you can show. It strengthens your profile for roles such as Sustainability Analyst, ESG and Corporate Social Responsibility Associate, Environmental or Development Program Officer, Monitoring and Evaluation Associate, Policy Research Assistant, and roles with non-governmental organizations, consultancies and development agencies. It is also the research base you need if you plan a doctorate later. So treat this project as the most career-relevant thing you will produce in the entire program, because it genuinely is. Let me answer the question students ask us most. How many credits is MSDP-018? 8 credits as listed on IGNOU's official MASS program site. How many marks does it carry? 100, split as 10, 10, 10, 30, 10 and 25. Across introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, conclusions and Viva. Do I need approval before starting? Yes. Your proposal must be approved before you collect data. Where does the proposal go? To the coordinator MASS at the School of Interdisciplinary and Transdisciplinary Studies, Maidan Gari. Where does the report go? To the registrar, Students Evaluation Division. Can my supervisor be from another discipline? Yes, if they meet the stated criteria in environmental science or studies, economics, sociology, anthropology, or a related discipline. Is fieldwork compulsory? Your methodology must be real and defensible. Discuss primary versus secondary data with your supervisor and state your choice clearly in the proposal. Is there a fixed page limit? Official guidance indicates the length depends on your chosen theme, so confirm with your supervisor and handbook. What if my project is rejected? You revise and resubmit in a later session following the evaluator's feedback. Let me recap the 7 things to remember. MSDP-018 is 8 credits and 100 marks. Results and discussion carries 30 of those marks. The Viva carries 25. And the last 4. Your supervisor can come from environmental science, economics, sociology, anthropology, or a related discipline. Your proposal goes to the MASS coordinator at SOITS. Your report goes to the Students Evaluation Division. And every date, format, and figure should be confirmed on IGNOU.ac.in before you submit. We have detailed videos on the IGNOU project synopsis, the universal project format, choosing a project guide, project submission, and the Viva Voce. Those are linked in the description, so this video could stay focused on MSDP-018 itself. If you need help with your IGNOU MASS project or your MSDP-018 synopsis, visit ignouproject.com or message us on WhatsApp at +91 9354 637 830. This is BK Sahni, guiding IGNOU students since 2010. If this helped, subscribe to Shri Chakradhar Education and tell us in the comments which sustainability topic you are planning. Always verify official details on ignou.ac.in. All the best with your IGNOU MASS project.